Yep. So this is a look at the new Royce the 5 compilation album, The Heaven Experience Volume 1. I get of it. Um, so this is a sort of greatest hits album, which appear to be in all the range at the moment. So I thought it'd be interesting just to have a look over and see how it compares to recent similar projects. So this is a volume one, as similar to Kid Cudi's recent one was, and maybe we'll see why that may be in a bit later. But just to look at the sort of hits that we do have on this album, we do kind of cross Royce's back catalogue fairly well. Leading with Rock City featuring Eminem from the debut Rock City album, Hip Hop from Death is Certain, the follow up project, Meeting the Bosses from Independence Day, Shake This and Part of Me from Street Hop, so the only album which. No, sorry, tell a lie. One of two albums that gets two songs from it, the next one being Layers, which has Tabernacle and the title track Layers. We also get Dead President's Heads from the Trust the Shooter mixtape EP. It was one of the ones from around that kind of time. Caterpillar featuring Eminem and King Green from Book of Ryan, and I Play Forever featuring Graph from The Allegory. So in terms of hit singles, we do get some of the bigger ones. We also seem to be a bit of a mixture of tracks that have been selected for this. Meeting the Bosses was never a single as far as I can tell. It didn't seem to be one of the fan favourite tracks either, from my knowledge of it. Shake This and Part of Me were both singles, but Shake This was like the lead single and more of it had a video to it, so more of a heavily promoted single. Part of Me, I suppose, was still sort of more of a street single. Tabernacle, yes, lead single. Layers with Rick Ross and Pusha T. Again, more of a street single than an actual single. Has quite a good lyric video to it though. Dead President's Head isn't from an album, so shouldn't really count. And there's also quite a lengthy song, which, I guess a way of showing how Royce can do quite long songs, but for a project like this, perhaps not necessary. I Play Forever seems to have only been made a single for the purpose of this album. The video was only released the other week, filmed the other week, it seems. There were other songs from that which I thought were more singles than this. And yeah, certainly there's quite a few other singles from the albums that aren't present. Success is Certain has nothing from it at all on here. I have seen a recent interview with Royce talking about slowly getting the masters for his back catalogue. So I don't know if this selection of tracks is just reflective of what songs he was able to get the masters for to use. So perhaps with volume 2, or however many volumes we end up getting of this, that becomes more apparent of more singles being added to it. So in terms of that selection of hits, it's a fine look over Royce's catalogue, but not necessarily a definitive look. At least it's chronological, so you get a little bit of a see of his artistic growth, but it certainly doesn't really cover much of the threshold of Royce's catalogue, which for a project like this is a bit of a shame. But again, maybe it'll become better covered with further volumes. In terms of other songs on here, a third of the actual tracks and are actually unreleased. So not from any albums and not, hits or otherwise. Um, which again for a hits project is an interesting method. Still, we get Black Lives Matter featuring Big Crit. We've got a obvious self-explanatory look at Black Lives Matter, the movement, and the issues that cause this movement to be in effect. And both of these artists are great lyricists, so great to hear them together. I'm Good, kind of just a general Royce track about his life at this time. You're fine for an album cut that as an additional track on a hits project feels a little bit weird. Similarly with Made, which just seems to be a song dedicated to suckers. Just Royce going about how he doesn't like suckers, but without suckers, it wouldn't show how great he was. And there's some amusing bits in the final verse, but other than that, it's not one of his strongest tracks. Again, if it was just a track on an album, it would probably be fine, but on here, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Right Hand Man featuring Black Thoughts. Again, at least it's nice back and forth between two strong lyricists. Mostly extended verses to begin with, and then a bit of from the pair of them, then more of a back and forth later on, in kind of like the final verse, which is cool to hear. It seems to go a little bit off odd bars as it goes towards the end, because Royce seems to finish on an odd bar where it feels like there's supposed to be another one coming. It's supposed to continue, and I don't know if that's a deliberate thing to try and show how far Royce could go, how long he could go as an MC. But again, a great collaboration. Both got some great lyrics and rhymes in here. Black Thought showing why he is such a well-respected rhymer. And What a Time featuring Courtney Bell and Liz Rodriguez. Liz Rodriguez being known for her association with Eminem on the DJ Khalil produced tracks, so has worked with Royce and Slaughterhouse before on similar tracks like that. So it kind of makes sense to have her on here. I don't think this is a DJ Khalil produced track. Any of these tracks they're just produced by Royce, considering Royce trying to showcase himself as a producer now. But she still sounds good on here. And Courtney Bell, who's kind of like a new protege of Royce's, also as a young up and comer, sounds good enough. Certainly, his verse showcases a very similar in terms of style and lyrics to Royce. Also appears to have the same anti-vaccination stance that Royce does. So he seems to have taken the good and the bad from his mentor. But as a way to showcase a new artist, which on a project like this, quite a good way to after showing Royce's own history, to then bring on a new artist for the future. Not an issue with that. It works well. So in terms of these bonus tracks, these unreleased tracks, the collaborations seem to be better than the other songs. But so all in all, it is a bit of a mixed bag in terms of this project. It doesn't really do Royce's back catalogue, Justice. Um, if you are looking to get into Royce's stuff, you can seek out this project. There's certainly tracks on here that are worth listening to, but in terms of a compilation of great Royce songs to get started with, this perhaps isn't the best way to become familiar with his work. But again, maybe with the future volumes, that'll be a better showcase of his stuff. And if we get more later this year, like we're getting with Kid Cudi, or whenever we do get any more, it'd be interesting to see just what we get with any future projects. Yeah, so hopefully if they happen later, see you then.